University of Central Florida, his law degree from Cumberland School of Law, Samford University in Alabama. After law school, he moved to Hampton, South Carolina, and worked as an assistant solicitor in the 14th Judicial Circuit. Again, we're in the 10th. In 2000, he moved to Anderson, where he engaged in the private practice of law and was city prosecutor for the city of Belton. In 2005, he joined the Anderson County Solicitor's Office, and he was promoted to Deputy Solicitor in 2015. Would you join me in welcoming Ram Campbell?
Afternoon. Thank you all for being here. It's, as Mr. Burr said, politics is an interesting field that we live in. And this is my first entry into politics, and I've learned a lot and met a lot of people. And that's been the good part. I've enjoyed that part of it. And as Chuck was saying, I'm originally from Florida. I grew up in Palatka, Florida. My dad was not military. We were kind of like military. He was a state trooper, and we moved 4 times in 5 years as he got promoted. He retired. He retired in Palatka, Florida after 38 years on the highway patrol. I come from a family of law enforcement and first responders. My other uncles were either highway patrol, deputy sheriffs, and my aunt was an ambulance driver, EMS. So what it means is I grew up on their salary. I understand what law enforcement does. I have a little more insight in how they operate. Because when you're in law enforcement, your life is not like anybody else's. It's different. You're always on shift. You're always on scheduling. Holidays are different. So there was things I learned growing up that I didn't take for granted when I was growing up. Until I became old enough and had my own family, that now do I appreciate what my dad did for me and how he sacrificed and worked 2 side jobs to make ends meet. And that desire in law enforcement kind of followed me. When I got out of college, I went to work in the business world. I was in a wholesale lumber company in Jacksonville, Florida. I worked there for a couple of years and decided, I still would like to go into the law. So I wound up going to law school, and as fate would have it, I would go up, my best friends were all from South Carolina, and I would come up on vacation and meet them and everything, and then one thing led to another, met the solicitor down there, and he hired me on the spot. So that's why I wound up in Hampton, South Carolina, and then as fate would have it, I eventually met my wife. She was an upstate girl, and we moved to Anderson. And one of the things I'm kind of running on is to bring public confidence back to the office. There's been a problem with the community. They don't feel safe anymore. The community does not have trust in the office. And that's one of the things we have got to get back to. Because being a prosecutor, one of the things is that you have a lot of responsibility. And one of the responsibilities is that you affect people's lives. You can do it positively or negatively. And that's a great responsibility to have. And we have the ability as a prosecutor to decide whether or not we go after this person who commits an offense or not. We weed out. We decide which route this person gets to go. And that I don't take that lightly. The other day I had a man, I was speaking at a school board function, and he ran me down as I was leaving. He says, "I need to talk to you." I said, "What for?" And he's like, "I want to thank you. You prosecuted my son." I'm like, "What?" and you're thanking me. But he said, "No, you turned my son's life around. You could have hammered him when you had the opportunity and the chance. He was caught red-handed. But you gave him an opportunity. We fashioned a sentence, so he had to go through drug rehab. He didn't get out of jail. He went through drug rehab. When he got out, he went back through it. Now he's turned his life around. That was his only infraction." And that's where we have the ability to decide, and we can either help people or get rid of them. And when I say get rid of them, it's the repeat offenders. These people are terrorizing our communities, and they need to go away. And not only does it affect the community, it affects businesses. Because businesses don't want to come to a place with a high crime rate. They don't want to invest money in a place that they don't feel safe in. And so that's one of the things I'm running on, is to bring back that kind of faith and trust in our community. Since I've been in 2005, since when I went with the Anderson County Solicitor's Office, I've been involved in 39 jury trials. The trial type of cases I handle have been drug dealers, violent criminals, and killers. Those are the kind of areas that I was assigned to. And have had good success handling them. And in doing that, you learn how crime affects the community, and how bad one person could be towards another. And the 15 years of experience when I was down in Hampton, we were in trial every single week, just about, because we traveled 4 counties, and we went from county to county. And you learn a lot. You get to think on your feet, you have to learn how to prepare ahead of time, and you get to learn how to work with people. And that was one of the strong suits I feel I can bring to this office, is the ability to work with people. Law enforcement, while I'm not as well known up in Coney County, you can ask Anderson who they want to work with. The deputies there, they've been working with me for years, and we have a strong bond and a good working relationship, and you need that. You have got to have communication, and that's how we work together. Because nothing gets solved unless we talk, we communicate, and how we get through that is law enforcement and the citizens and the solicitor's office have all got to be on the same page. Because nothing will get solved unless we talk about it, unless we learn who the people are. Because the people, the citizens in the community know who are committing the crimes. And the solicitor's office gets approximately 5,000 cases a year. When that file comes across the desk, it doesn't mean anything to that prosecutor. But to that person on the other side, to that victim in that community, it's something, it's real. And they understand what it means. And so if they communicate with us and tell us who's causing the problems, and the community talks to law enforcement and we get on the same track, we can target these repeat offenders, these career criminals. And that's what we have got to do to clean up. Between Anderson and Coney, we've had a lot of property crimes. It's just been, we've been eat up. And so that's one of the things I think we need to do to get back on the right track. The other thing is that we need to fast track those that are committing the crimes. These repeat offenders, you create a top 50 list, and it's like basically like a top 10 hit list for the FBI. Well, this is the same thing for our office. And we go after those because being in the prosecutor, we run a business. Our business is justice, and we have a certain amount of resources, which is court time. And we have to use that efficiently. And so you can't try everybody. So that time we have got to use it to go after the right people. And that's why we got to work together and focus on that. The other thing is that the victims, they want their day in court. And that's an area we need to start stressing more, is that they have a right, they have a say. They want to be treated fairly and with dignity. Because most of the time the victims, that is their only time they've ever been in court. Now, we do have some career victims, but other than that, you know, one day they're a defendant, next day they're a victim. But they're people that are hurting, they're tired, they're frustrated. And that's where, when I go meet people, they say, why can't y'all get along? Why can't law enforcement get along? And I've heard it not only in Anderson County, but in Coney County. And that's where we have to quit. As I tell people, it's like, we're all in the same family, we're in law enforcement, we're basically siblings. We may not like to kiss one another, but by gosh, at the end of the day, we're still family. And so that's where we have got to get back on the same track. And I feel that my experience with working with law enforcement and dealing with high-profile cases over the last several years, I can bring that type of knowledge to this office. And I resigned, actually, from the Anderson Solicitor's Office to run for this, because I feel that confident and faithful and dedicated to this position. And you know, when you look right down to it, our office has got to get back, the solicitor's office, to trying cases, and it hasn't been. One of the biggest complaints we hear is that the office takes the path of least resistance. That may be the easiest way, but it's not always the right way. And that's where we have got to get back to serving the people, serving the community. I live in Anderson County. I've been here since the year 2000. My daughter was born in Anderson. She goes to school in Anderson. And that is where my home is. My home is in this circuit. And I have a vested interest in it. And that's why I want to be in this top position, because I want it safe for them, for you, for everybody else. We all have the same desires, and that is to live in a community that's safe. Anyway, I will quit talking about that, but in order to do this, I need your help and I need your support. And that's why I'm asking for your vote on June 14th, because I'm going to change things. Things have been going on the status quo, and that's no longer the standard. Things are going to change, and it has to if we're going to get this back on track. Thank you very much.